situation. He took a pitch in the back. He got beaten for crying out loud.
We used heart attack.
Managers on a Major League Baseball team don't make decisions.
Could have done without that.
Credibility in this situation is worse than losing your job.
Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor?
The castration of the Major League Baseball managers, we know it.
Ask me about my winner.
What's going on, everybody? I was thinking about the Knicks and the position that they're in. Probably well positioned to get to the Eastern Conference Finals if their players can stay healthy. And you say, well, in the NBA playoffs, anybody could get hurt at any time. But particularly the New York Knicks are in a tough situation because of the limited amount of players that the coach chooses to play. And if you look at the Knicks roster, they have ample bodies. And this is the part that bothers me. This is the part that I want to get on the record. I understand the injury to Mitchell Robinson. I understand that OG Anunoby is not going to be available probably for the rest of this series. I mean, a hamstring, strain, if that's the case, it's going to be hard to get on a basketball court. And we know that there's other players that are out. Julius Randle, it's understandable that the Knicks rotation is going to be a little weaker or a little less. There's other players that can play. And at some point, you got to use them to see if you could give your players the appropriate amount of rest. Listen, I love what Josh Hart's doing, the fact that he's playing 48 minutes a night. Jalen Brunson, when he's healthy, and hopefully he's able to give it a go for Game 3, which you kind of feel like he's going to after a heroic performance in the fourth quarter. But what they need is to be able to rest even for a minute or two the top 6 or 7 players that they have on that roster. And they're down to 6. They're pretty much down to just one bench player. Precious Achiuwa is going to get his way into the starting lineup probably, and Miles McBride is their only bench player. Are you really going to go out there and play 6 players over the course of a 48-minute NBA game? I wouldn't be surprised if Tom Thibodeau did that. But you're looking at guys like Jericho Sims, Alec Burks, Diakite. I mean, Shake Milton. There's players that can play basketball. And I'm not saying that they're the ones that are going to make the difference, that they're the players that you're going to trust to make the biggest shot in the biggest time. But you're going to have to, in my opinion, you're going to have to use more than just 6 players. And the Knicks are in a tough situation, especially if they get some tough news about Jalen Brunson. I know Jalen Brunson's got the balls to go out there. And if he could, physically stand, he's going to play basketball. But if his condition, if his leg, if his foot is hindering him in any way, would it be a really smart move to play him 48 minutes? Josh Hart's going to play 48 minutes, and I get that. You got players, and one of the things that probably resonates so well with this Knicks team to the fans is the fact that they all got balls and are all willing to go out there and play entire games. I get that. I understand it. And to me, this is probably one of the more exciting Knicks teams that we've seen in recent memory. What I believe has to happen is that other players that are on this roster that are sitting on the bench, not getting a chance to play because they're not part of the quote-unquote rotation, really should get in there. And I think if the Knicks have something that's going to hold them back, I think it's going to be the continuous insistence on playing just the 6 players that they have. And either they're going to wear down and they're just going to be in a position where the other team, whether it's the Pacers, you remember this is a long series, you still got games to play in Indiana, and the expected Boston Celtics, the team that they should be able to play, they should be playing in the Eastern Conference Finals, they're deeper. And if the Knicks aren't deep enough, and listen, Miles McBride isn't going to have to go out there and be, the 6th man of the year. They're not going to need MVP minutes for Jericho Sims and Alec Burks, but they're going to need to put them on the court. And if the coach is unwilling to do that, then I think the Knicks might be in trouble. When it comes to baseball, I always made this comment that a team that's expected to do well always fails at the expense of another team doing good. or if a team that's expected to perform poorly ends up having a really good season, they do it at the expense of a team that was expected to do well. You're seeing that happen with the Astros and the Athletics. And the question is going to be, and I think in the National League East, you could say the Marlins, who are expected to do well after a playoff season last year, are failing at the expense of the Nationals, who are back around 500. So you're going to see that in multiple spots over the course of the season. And, you've heard me proclaim my belief in the Houston Astros. And, there's a good chance that I might be wrong with that. The other element is going to be exactly how good are the Oakland Athletics, because I think one is going to tie itself in with the other. So this is the Pass Ball Show, brought to you by JohnPLA.com, by St. Aloysius Church in Jackson, New Jersey, by 2 Ways, One Passion food truck located in Scranton, Pennsylvania. If you've hung around with me to this point, I want to share with you the fact that I do 1-minute clips of the best of all time, share them on all sorts of platforms, whether it's TikTok, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, Reels. Take a look. I've done well over 100 of those videos. Obviously, the Pass Ball Show has been around since 2012. If you want to hear several different takes, every show that I've done, I've put a transcript together where it actually tells you exactly what I'm going to talk about. Comment section, they're live. Everything I do, I share for the public. So if there's anything you like or anything you don't like, please drop my way. We'll be back with you soon. God bless you. And as always, I'll see you on the other side.
Chris Bryant was on the Chicago Cubs roster opening day.
I have many leather-bound books. My apartment smells of rich mahogany.
Why don't you give it all or a majority of it to the team that wins the freaking World Series?
I was in this but then I just carried on living my life.
Now they come out as the biggest Major League Baseball manager apologist.
It'll only make someone work just hard enough not to get fired.
Because hitters are going out there saying, I'm either going to hit a home run or I'm going to strike out. And if I don't get a pitch that I feel like I could drive out of the park,
I'm not even supposed to be here today.
especially prospect whores and hoarders, are going to be a little pissed off at me when I say this.
I'm a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude.
There are only 2 managers in baseball's Hall of Fame who have losing records. One of them is the iconic Connie Mack, who you could say, in spite of winning 5 World Series championships as a manager, could be in as much as a pioneer. And what side of the spectrum they're on? Were they pitching? Were they batting? If your favorite team was pitching and a ball got inside to hit a batter, there's no way that could have been on purpose. But if you were a fan of the team that was batting and a ball got inside and hit somebody or went behind somebody's head, absolutely 100%, unequivocally, that pitcher was throwing at him.
Well, we're going Leo Lee.
They put their tail between their legs, decided they're going to do exactly what they're told. You damn well right better give him a contract extension. You damn well right better make him the manager.